Hello, beautiful ladies. Today, my masterclass is all about overcoming overwhelm and overworked. And we are in such a space at this day and age that we really are overworking ourselves. We're accessible by our phones, we're accessible by, the laptops, computers, and so much more accessible. And so we're always on. So today, what we're going to be talking about is how we can work away from that and move away from that and have some tools to really step into being present and calm in this day and age with our busy lifestyles. So a little bit about me to start with. I'm Danni V, if you have not met me before, and it's my absolute mission to eradicate self-loathing in women worldwide. And the reason I want to do this is to really create that domino effect of these women being compassionate, really grounded leaders, and then passing that on to the other people in their lives, men and women, so our life and our world can be a better place for it. I am an integrated holistic wellness coach. So what that means is I support ambitious women to really eradicate that self-loathing through, working with their wellness, so their nutrition, their movement, and mindset. Mindset is the most important part of this component. And I also help with a lot of leadership coaching as well, creating that, really compassionate and vulnerable leader that leads with vulnerability. A few of my credentials are down there. So I'm a holistic health specialist. I have done my certified NLP course over 10 years ago. And I also am a certified nutrition coach, which I've done about 5 years ago. So I have been in this industry for over 14 years. And I really hope that my knowledge and understanding of how to step away from the overwhelm is really going to support you today too. So what about jumping off the hamster wheel? And I'm sure if you're watching this masterclass, you are feeling like you're on that hamster wheel right now, really just running, and you just keep going, you keep going, you keep going, and you're just holding on for dear life, and you're surviving instead of thriving. So learning how to jump off that hamster wheel, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Finding tools to just take that space. So if you feel like you're on the hamster wheel, you feel like you're just moving and moving and moving and moving, and just finding that strategy to just go, okay, I can make this time for me, and we're going to work towards that and learn how and what's going on with us to be able to step away. So why is this important? When we are always seeing the obstacles in our way, we are in a stuckness. If we're always looking for the obstacles, we're always seeing the obstacles, we're always going to miss the greatness, miss the wonderful things that are right in front of us as well. So we are going to be learning today about stepping away from this stuckness and like I said, like the hamster wheel, just moving around on this crazy hamster wheel and this stuckness, because we're focusing on what's wrong in front of me. Why can't I get to where I want to be? Why do I have to keep on working so hard? So then you work harder to try and get there. You might not have won the award just recently with the AusMum, and you feel like, oh my goodness, now I need to work harder to do even better. But maybe it is that you need to step back, not be overwhelmed, not be overworked, and really enjoy being in the present right now. And hopefully you're going to be able to do that walking away today. If we want a different result, you have to tell yourself a different story. It is your choice. Everything in life is your choice. And today I want you to take the choice to really be open to learning when we work through what's going on for you and how we can make those shifts. Really opening yourself up to this learning and making a choice that you're going to maybe create a new story, create a new way that you look at the world, and it's going to make so much more empathy in your world for yourself mostly. So what's really going on? What is really going on? Every single day, we have over 2 million bits of information going into our minds. 2 million bits of information. Can you imagine it? But we distort, we generalize, and we just focus on 6 to 8 chunks of that. 6 to 8 chunks. And then we create our own internal representation of that. So the way that we look at the world, and then the state that we are in. So if you're watching this and you're feeling like you're overwhelmed and overworked, that's the state that you're creating by the way that you're distorting and generalizing those things that are in front of you. So like I said, if you're focusing on what's wrong and the stuckness, that's what you're going to really be in that state of mind, because that's what you're looking at, and that's what you're distorting and generalizing everything that's happening in front of you. You're not seeing the other things. And then the physiology is what comes up. Like, you might be feeling tired, you feel really run down, like you might be feeling over it, you might be feeling it's just not worth it. That's the way that our minds start really working without us even knowing. So our unconscious mind is taking control. And honestly, ladies, like, there has to be this compassion and empathy working through all of this, right? Because our unconscious mind is 90% of our like our minds, right? So 10% we're working consciously, 9% we're working unconsciously. We can create change in that unconscious pattern, but be kind and passionate to yourself as we do that through today. So when we're looking at that, we're creating stories. So the stories that we create by the way that we look at the world, so our internal representation. So a really great example of this for me is that when I was first starting out in the wellness industry, I was just a $10 bootcamp girl. I wasn't even doing mindset, I wasn't doing nutrition, and this is almost 15 years ago. And I really judged myself and compared myself because of the stories that I'd tell myself, that people wouldn't turn up and it was, it's because they didn't like me, or, people would quit because they didn't like me. And so I'd create these stories, but, people just had their own stuff going on, which I realized over the years as I grew and molded into the business that I am now. Instead of, really staying stuck in that story, which I tell you, I was there for a long time, I started working on my mindset and creating a different type of mindset. So instead of staying in a fixed mindset, which we'll have some examples of that soon, I really started morphing into a growth mindset. And that was a choice that I made. And by making that choice of a growth mindset, my business has morphed. So I was a $10 bootcamp girl. Now I am a holistic wellness coach that goes into other companies and supports companies in leadership and wellness. I speak at events. I run my own wellness programs. I also run the fitness business on the side, but I have people working for me there. And then I am also creating the mindset and the wellness in there as well. So by creating a different mindset and choosing to be in a more growth mindset to overcome that overwhelm and overworking myself and valuing myself, I was able to step out of the stuckness. So what does fixed mindset look like? Fixed mindset is when you're thinking, okay, I'm either good at it or I'm not. It's just black and white, right? When I'm frustrated, I give up. I don't like to be challenged. So I'm just going to just fall under the radar and I mightn't have won that award, or I mightn't have gotten that tender, or what it might be for you right now. And you're thinking, oh, well, I don't like to be challenged. So I'm frustrated, so I'm going to give up. When I fail, I'm no good. So that was an example of how I said when I started out as a $10 bootcamp girl, I felt like a failure. And so my self-worth plummeted so badly. And that's the work that I had to do on myself to really build myself up again. Tell me I'm smart. So you want that external validation. Tell me I'm smart. Otherwise, I won't feel worthy. If you succeed, I feel threatened. So instead of really celebrating other women or men celebrating their wins, you feel really threatened, and you feel like, again, you're not worthy because they're doing better than you. My abilities determine everything. So you think that if you don't have the abilities, you can't move forward. However, stepping into your growth mindset, you really can learn anything that you want. And you believe that. So it's that growth mindset. I'm going to go and study that. I'm going to go and learn from that person over there. Oh, wow, I really love what she's doing over there. I'm going to go and join her and find how I can be there too with her. When I'm frustrated, I persevere. And this is a huge one for so many of us, right? Because being a business owner can be so frustrating at times. But if you persevere through it, there is gold at the end of the rainbow, So really finding the way to step through that and finding a place where you feel happy in the present moment. I want to challenge myself. So the challenging yourself is really about that stepping out of your comfort zone, isn't it? So if you're not going to challenge yourself and you just want to stay where you are because you don't like being challenged, then you're never going to grow. you're always going to stay in that fixed state. But challenging yourself is stepping that out of that comfort zone, but still being present about it. Tell me I try hard. Okay, so tell me I try hard, that's fine, because I know that I'm successful. I don't need you to tell me that I'm good. So I know that I am good. I don't need you to tell me. So you really have that internal validation happening, and then you're just saying, yeah, tell me I try hard because I know I do. If you succeed, I'm inspired. And I know myself, when I see others succeed, I'm truly inspired. And if it's something that I really want to achieve myself, I ask those people, how did you get there? What did you do? And then I start the process myself, really working towards there. So be inspired by others, ladies. Like, really find that groundedness that you can learn from others. And people that are really genuine about their success, they're going to help you. They're going to support you if you ask. So be inspired. And then my effort and attitude determine everything. And this is so true in a growth mindset. The amount of effort you put in is what you're going to achieve. The attitude that you have towards yourself, especially, and others, is going to affect the way that you achieve as well. So really finding that beautiful balance of a growth mindset. So I love Albert Einstein. There's a few quotes that I love in all my masterclasses. So if you have seen masterclasses of mine before, I really love a good quote. We cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking we used when we created them. So this is what I was speaking about when we're stepping out of the fixed into the growth and being compassionate about these changes and these choices that we're making to step away from that overwhelm. If you're going to keep on doing the same thing that you're doing now, nothing's going to change. So in that growth mindset, you step forward and you move forward out of that stuckness, and you move out of your comfort zone, and then things are going to change the way that you're thinking. So shift your mindset so you can be in your present. Shift your mindset so you can be in your present. And another fun little quote here is by Dr. Seuss. If things start happening, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along and you'll start happening too. So that's really helping you, just like, riding the wave, I guess the best way is to say it, like riding the wave of that overwhelm. So if something's happening, that's okay. That's business, that's life, especially if you're a mom and you're juggling mum life and business life and your partner and you're a daughter and all these different things. If something happens, don't worry, don't stew. Think about that growth mindset. And if you need to have those slides, just email me. That's totally fine. And really think about, okay, well, what can I do here? What can I make changes about, and what's out of my control? And then stepping into that growth mindset of I can step out of my comfort zone, but I can only do what I can do as one person as well. So don't worry, don't stew. So I do have an action step for you. So what is it? What can you do? Become a boundary master. This is a really difficult thing, I think, sometimes for mums especially, is because you're always wanting to give, you're always wanting to support others, and especially if you're in a service-based business, and even like a lot of the product businesses that I know, they are still quite service-based in the sense that they're doing something to really uplift others with their product. And so by setting your boundaries, this is something I want you to walk away from this masterclass today. It's just really thinking about, what are the boundaries that I can set for myself at the end of this masterclass, that I know that I'm starting to step into that growth mindset. I'm starting to become the boundary master of my life. And to become a boundary master, let's just take small steps, right? We're talking about making small steps so it's achievable and we can come present in this moment right now. So for example, a boundary could be that you say no to a coffee date because you're actually working during the week and you are a business owner. So you actually can't go on that coffee date because you need to get the work done. Maybe a boundary master move could be for yourself. So setting down scheduled times where you're working on things. And this was a game changer for me, ladies, an absolute game changer. So I just set down, okay, I'm working on my programs at, from 8 till 10. And then I'm working on my online private clients from 10 till 2. And then, so on and so forth. So there's different components that you can do. And then you might have just your working days. So if you want to really have that present moment with your children, and that's why you're overwhelmed, that's why you're overworked, because you're trying to do everything at once, maybe your first boundary walking away from this masterclass could be that you have one specific day for your children. And that's what I do. I have on a Tuesday, it's called my Mia day, which is my little girl. And I just spend my day with her. And I don't go onto the computer unless she has a sleep. I might do a bit of work or whatever, but I dedicate that day to her. And so we go dancing and we go to the park and do things like that. So then I don't feel overwhelmed and overworked trying to do all of it on the day that she's home with me. So I would love for you to share with me what you choose to set as a boundary when you leave this masterclass today. And I would love for you to email me or just contact me on my socials and say, hey, Danni, I've watched this masterclass. This is the boundary that I'm setting for myself. Like, I would absolutely love to hear what you're doing for yourself. Also, start shifting to a growth mindset. So your effort and attitude determine everything. I love this one. This is my growth mindset that really gets me back focused on being in my present moment, because if my effort and attitude determine everything, if I'm worried about what happened over here in the past, or if I'm worried about, oh my goodness, what's going to happen in the future, I'm not actually being in my present. And so my effort and my attitude are affected by that. So if I think about what do I have control of now? And then my effort and attitude determine everything that I do moving forward. I really hope that makes sense, that, and thinking about the growth mindset. So I might just quickly duck you back. Let's duck you back to the growth mindset. And I just want you to have a look at that now. So what are you going to choose to move away as your growth mindset? And maybe this will be your boundary, is to really live and breathe this one growth mindset that you might not be working with right now. To really step away from the overwhelm, step away from being overworked. You're going to step into really having a flow, and a beautiful flow and ease in the work that you do. All right, if you need that, please just let me know and we can send it through. So could you imagine how it would feel if you allowed yourself to enjoy the present moment? Gave yourself space to rest instead of always being on. So that could be your boundary. I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes every day. Woke up every day excited for your life and the day ahead. Imagine, what would that feel like? And I'd love you to take a moment to really write that down now. Like, what would that feel like if you were living and breathing that right now? And really embody what that would feel like as well. And if you would like the tools and strategies it takes to let go of the overwhelm and feel energized, loving every single day, I would love to have a chat with you. So I would love to offer you my 30-minute confidence awakening call. And this gives you the next steps. So I have given a really general idea on how to let go of the overwhelm and overworking of being a busy working mom. But I want to give you the tools specifically for you. So if you're really feeling like, yeah, I would love to know like 2 strategy steps to really get working and moving away from this and really stepping into my growth mindset, stepping into the present and just really enjoying my life again, I would love to connect with you. So you can either contact me on this link here, or just danni@danniv.com, or these are my social links here too. So if there's something that I can support you with in stepping away from this overwhelm and overwork and stepping into the growth mindset and stepping into really embodying being present. So growth mindset, how I said, like your attitude and effort determines everything. So if you're focusing on what now can I focus on, that's going to really be a game changer for you. I really hope that this has supported you in letting go of overwhelm, overwork, and being over your life, because I really want you to step into a life of happiness and really being present and loving the life that you have. And I really look forward to hearing from you. So please reach out and let me know, what's that boundary that you've set after this masterclass, and what are the strategies that you're going to take on now in growth mindset. And please, if you want to have that extra support, just connect with me and I would absolutely love to support you further. See you guys.